Welcome to another podcast. It's me, the Judgmental Critter, and the beautiful, my lovely twin sister, Twiins iink.
Hi.
We're back at it again. Once again, just the twins sitting here talking about something about the RWBY fandom. When it said
we gotta do these more often when we're not like addressing toxicity.
When it's just the two of us, it's like mom mode. We're telling you about what you're doing that we don't approve of. I'm sure you all read the title of this podcast. We're talking about the discourse around RWBY rewrites. Because it's such an odd thing to have, that this has discourse at all is such a bananas concept to me.
It's like we're not living in the year 2022. Right. Like this isn't 1999 anymore, guys. This is not a new concept.
I've never thought just Fanworks would cause such ire in a community. Not even like malicious fanwork, because there's always going to be something bad if smutty stuff, I suppose, is not always the greatest example of a fan's content, but even just well-meaning attempts at rewrites.
Yeah, it's just it's just fan fiction. That's literally what it is. Mm-hmm. It's on fanfiction.net. It would be labeled an AU, which is alternate universe, but it's literally no different from an AU. It's just... And this is not something unique to the RWBY fandom.
No, not at all.
I've seen people make rewrites / AUs of Korra, where it's like, what if...
she dated Bolin instead?
What if she didn't connect the spirit world to the Avatar world in season 2? I've seen it for Steven Universe. What if all the gems were human? What if all the humans were gems?
What if what if his mom wasn't Pink Diamond, it was White Diamond, or whatever?
Yeah. It's like, they're just ways for fans to explore a property with basically like a fun writing prompt.
Hell, Marvel made an entire animated-ass series called What If, based around this entire premise, and y'all eating it up. But the moment a RWBY community member is like, I tried my hand at it, y'all are like, rewrites are bad. And it's weird.
And that's another thing. Rewrites, so, like, a rewrite can be something as broad and big as I completely changed how the magic system works, and I also altered the main antagonist's, like, backstory.
Yeah.
Or it could be, I decided to make a rewrite where I just put Adam into the story a couple more times before he died.
Like, have you heard of this book? I don't remember. It was like a real rewrite. It's, how there's like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies?
Oh yeah.
There's another one that I've seen, and I think it was The Great Gatsby, I don't remember, but I think it's The Great Gatsby, but the main character has scoliosis. And the description on the back is, it's literally the same exact story, but in every chapter it gets briefly mentioned how our main character has slight scoliosis.
Why? But yeah, that is technically a rewrite. Like, it's not always these huge, like, completely differing story arcs. Sometimes it's minor. Like My Adam video was the example I was referencing there. I prefer, if I'm going to approach this sort of topic, I prefer trying to change as little as possible. But some people want to be like, hey, what if Pyrrha lived instead?
Yeah.
Pyrrha lived and Jaune was the one who died. How could everything change? And that's a big change. And that could cause a whole different story to happen. And that's a fun thing to think about.
And it's a really fun thing to think about. Like, an entire, because you can start from like, oh, well, this would be different, and then this would be different. And as you keep going, it's easy to get excited thinking about the potential of where this AU could go. Yeah. But for some reason, there are members in this fandom who treat it like it's a negative concept.
Yeah.
In its
and
entirety.
at first, the thing that I saw all the time was,
well, I just don't like the word fixing. Yeah. I don't think it needs to be fixed.
There's so much splitting hairs in this fandom.
For real. And then, but, like, Cal and that Kaito Dan, they are working on rewrites. They're just having fun doing that.
Yeah.
And wow, they're not calling it fixing. And people are still like, this is bad, oh woo. And it's like, okay, so clearly your problem with a single fucking word, fixing, was bullshit. And you just don't like when people have fun. Because that's the thing, they want to pretend like that a rewrite that's disrespectful. And it's like,
It's not.
no, it's not.
If
It's
anything, it is a form of respect to be like, I'm gonna take this property that I enjoy and play around with it and be creative with it.
Yeah.
Like, Monty did not make RWBY for it to be this set in stone, boring, just monolith, you can't touch it. It's not like the Bible, where you're not supposed to think about it differently. It's stories, fan OCs and fan-made concepts and new ideas and reimaginings. That's part of enjoying a medium.
Yeah.
And
speaking of Monty, like, his Dead Fantasy series, is that disrespectful?
yeah, is he
Is he disrespecting Final Fantasy and Dead or Alive? No, yeah, because if you want to, you make these things because you're passionate about whatever it is. Like, sure, there could be a disrespectful rewrite, where they, like, I don't know, kill all the characters or something.
But even then, like,
what is this anomaly? Where is this? That's the thing. These fans have gotten so used to being able to use Hirohi's name as a scapegoat. Well, I don't like them because they're all bad like him. But there is no Hirohi example here. Because that's the thing. It'll be like, I see these horrible rewrites that... Okay, where?
Yeah, they're always like, there's so many rewrites where Jaune is the main character instead. And I actually went out of my way and I went to AO3 and I just typed in rewrite, like, as the only tag, RWBY rewrite. And I only found like 2 where Jaune was the main character instead. And out of 68 like available, yeah.
Yeah, like, both of us forgetting every single word in the English dictionary.
Out of like 68 potential options, I only saw 2 where Jaune was the main character, and they opened, like, in the very first line of the description, it's like, and this one I made Jaune the main character. It's like, all right, that's, sure.
And there you go. And, you know, like, and it's like people are getting upset about a concept that isn't even real. Like, they're just mad at, well, what if they do it like this? I'm angry. And it's well, how about you wait to see what they actually do? And also, I gotta say, like, this is, like, I didn't think that you would have to explain how a fandom works to what are supposed to be a bunch of teens/adults, but here we are. I guess people in the RWBY community has literally never interacted with anything else ever before this. But they're... You know that thing? Don't like, don't read? So yeah, that's not an excuse for you to say, if you're gonna criticize the show, then just don't watch it. No.
Oh my god.
That, if something has tags that you don't like, if you don't like Jaune being the protagonist, people will explain this rewrite is where Jaune's the protagonist. Okay, well, I don't like that, so I won't read it.
Exactly.
That's how that fucking, you know, and act like an adult and just... engage with the media you want to engage with. No one's making you read these rewrites or watch these people's videos or anything. Mm-hmm. Just, if you don't like the concept, then don't engage with it.
It's this bananas thing, and it's so backwards, because the part of the fandom that's like, critics and rewriters are the hate-dumb, are the ones being the most hateful in this scenario.
They really are. They're so toxic and volatile. And it's like, why is it such a sin in your eyes for people to engage with the property? Like, what do these people want? For fan artists to just never draw cool artwork of Team RWBY?
Yeah.
For fanfiction writers to never write a story for RWBY?
Unless it's as close to the original story, or as completely just non-inclusive, like, just bland of everything, or carbon copy exactly like the original story. Those are your only answers.
It's only okay if you just steal Rooster Teeth's content.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Like, these rewrites, people are so up in arms about these rewrites. Oh, they're disrespectful. But they're literally no different from any other fan work. All those, like, outfit redesigns people have made for Team RWBY,
Yeah.
it's no different. Those cool fan animations that people make.
Like Cake Station or
Like Cake Station or Boulder Off Bros.
Team Dark or Team Silver.
Literally no different.
Exactly. It's all just a creative form of exploring this world we supposedly all like, but for some people, I like it more than you do, so you can't change anything about it.
Like, what child thinks that they can police how other people interact with a medium they like?
And here's the thing. If someone... Because, alright, I saw this on Twitter. I'm sure some of you listening might have seen this. If there is a rewrite that you read and you don't like it, it is not fair to critique or criticize that rewrite the same as you would critique or criticize the official show. Because, like, I said something, because this one person who I won't name, because I don't want to spread drama, but this one person made this really, like, mean-spirited post about someone's rewrite, and they just went on blast, and people in the comments was like, wow, how cringe, wow, that's really bad, wow, how terrible. And I was like, why be so mean-spirited about it? And I saw people saying, well, here, the critics can't take any criticism, it's fine when you do it, but here's the thing. You and I critique a professional product with, like, hundreds of employees that make a product that they sell.
Yes.
It is natural to critique that. That'd be like if I went to a restaurant and critiqued a meal. If Gordon Ramsay goes somewhere and critiques a meal he is given, that is different from wandering into someone's homegrown garden and critiquing the vegetables they're just growing for their own fun.
Yeah. And that's another thing. The way you interact with other fans is very different. No one makes Miles or Carrie or anybody who works at Rooster Teeth. No one forces them to see our videos.
Exactly.
They have to search out videos in general if they even want to. If they want. But when you critique, like, a video or a fan work, you message them. They get a notification. They are forced to have to click on, like, I've got a message, what is it? And they have to see what you say. Now, sure, of course they could just not read what you say.
And ignore it,
But, like, that message could be nice. It could be someone saying, I love what you did, I think this is really cool. Or even something more benign, just like, keep up the good work, or just, even a more benign critique, like, I don't really like this scene.
Yeah.
That's fair. Or, I wish you made her hair longer, something like that.
You can offer advice without being mean about it.
And that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like, don't be an asshole. Like
because I've done several critiques on several RWBY fan animations, and 100%, I am much easier on those critiques than I am RWBY officially. Because these are people doing something for fun. And I want to offer advice. I don't want to tear them apart. Because I've been there. I remember I was posting a bunch of stuff. I was, like, in middle school. I was posting a bunch of stuff on DeviantArt. And I was like, wow, look at all my art. And one person, and I barely got comments. And I was like, oh my god, I just got a comment on this thing I uploaded. And they're like, OMG, the faces look so stupid. And it was crushing. It was like, it really took all the wind out of my sails. So why would anyone in the fandom try to actively, and mine was just a random troll, why would someone who claims to be a part of this fandom look at another member of this fandom and actively try to take the wind out of their sails?
Another artist, too. That's the thing that really fucking pisses me off.
Right?
Is this jerk, this asshole, and I hope you fucking know who I'm talking about. Yeah. You better. Because you're a piece of shit. Because how can you, as an artist, be able to be okay with just being rude to some kid who's excited about sharing their product? Like, how stupid are you?
How full of yourself?
How fucking dumb are you?
Yeah. You got it. What? Who do you think you are to sit there and go, look at this shitty kid's stupid rewrite?
Like, have you never interacted with another artist before? Like, at college, that's like, we would critique each other regularly.
Yeah.
That's how you learn when you're in college. You all put your art up on the wall and you all, say what's good, what's
Everyone
bad,
has
what
to
could
say
be
one
improved.
thing about each picture, or whatever the rule was.
And, you learn how to interact with other artists and tell them ways that they could improve in a way that's respectful. In a way that's not you literally just bullying people.
Yeah.
Because you think your dick's big because you have 20,000 followers on Twitter.
Yeah. Because they do smut. Ooh.
Yeah, wow. Really excited for RWBY to die, so then you have literally no audience to draw your smutty, bad artwork for.
But I don't want this
That's
to be
the
bad.
most annoying thing. They're not even a bad artist.
No.
Their art is nice.
Their art is nice.
That's what really pisses me off. Because if they were shit at art, then I could just be like, "What? You're shit at art. You don't know what you're talking about." They are clearly good at what they do. And so how can you just be such an asshole? How can you have so much power and clout in a community where you are a piece of shit?
Yeah.
I don't like bullies.
No.
That's what pissed me off. Not them parading around Twitter being like, everyone jerked me off because I bullied some kid on Discord. It's the fact that it happened in the first place.
Yeah.
It's the fact that kid on Discord probably cried. They probably cried. And they felt
not
really
only
bad.
having a prominent member of the community fucking radioing their laughter at their product, but then having everyone in those comments sit there and pile on, like, oh my god, how cringe, oh my god, so shit. Like, fuck you.
That kid, I hope that kid keeps making art. I hope they keep creating. I hope they keep writing.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee that they will now, because your piece of shit asshole decided to inflate your shitty ego on tearing some kid down.
Yeah. Do you feel better? Do you feel big
Do you
of
feel like a
yourself
big
now?
man?
Wow.
Do you feel real big and strong?
I hope you're fucking proud. This community.
Fucking embarrassing.
It's just so fucking terrible. Like, and we're the hate-dom? We're the hate-dom. Alright, sure. Going back to, like, specific topics about rewrites. I mentioned, I hate it when they make Jaune the protagonist.
For real.
So, honestly, who fucking cares? What if there is some person out there who does really relate to Jaune? They were never nearly as talented as everyone else around them. They have a bunch of sisters and they feel kind of outcast. What if there is some kid out there who does, honestly, really relates to Jaune and just wants to see things from his perspective? Let's be honest. He's a rather in-depth character. He gets a lot of screen time and a lot of development. It's not out of the norm that someone out there might want to see things from his point of view.
What great sin is there in this?
What crime? Having, how dare you? Because, of course, if it was like what if Pyrrha was the main character, no one would give a shit. No one would fucking even mention it. But the fact that it's Jaune.
She has boobies,
exactly.
so it's okay.
They're like, well, they only make Jaune the main character because they're misogynistic. No,
it's
do you think Steven Universe is misogynistic because it has a boy as its main character?
Yeah, they make Jaune the protagonist either 1, because they like the character, 2, because they were excited to write for this character, or 3, because it's a self-insert.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, a lot of fan fiction is a self-insert thing. There is nothing wrong with that.
There's this...
People want to be able to see themselves in the shows they like. And some people relate to Jaune.
Because here's the
thing. It's not because they hate women, it's because they are a boy.
If I was to look at myself through a perspective of a fandom, I am a woman, I identify as a woman, I would want to see it through the lens of a woman character.
Yeah.
And let's be real, when men write for women, it's not always great. And, it works the other way around, too, sometimes. But, like, if there's a man out there, some boy, some kid, some male-identifying person out there who wants to write a story in the realm of RWBY, there's not many male characters to choose from that are actually interesting. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna self-insert into Ren, the guy who stands in the background and literally never talks.
Yeah, Ren has so little character going for him, and Oscar is younger than the rest of the group.
And then Crow is older than the rest of the group. Not
Yeah.
everyone wants to be a baby boy, quiet background character, or old man, and John's kind of the only other option at that point.
Yeah, and not everyone wants to make their OCs, you know? Like, personally, that's what I would do. I would just make my own character to be my little self-insert.
Yeah. I always thought an idea of the story of the Beacon days, but some random team, like completely random background people who just see Team RWBY doing shenanigans and go like, that team's really weird. We don't talk to them very often.
But not everyone wants to make up their own characters. Not everyone is, like, that creatively driven.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's exactly like... And so it's like covering a song as opposed to just writing your own song.
Exactly.
You know, and that's also why people make fan art. You know, you can just make your own characters and draw your own characters. But some people just really want to draw Weiss, or whoever it is, you know?
Exactly.
And sometimes that's gonna be a boy character.
Yeah.
Okay? Get over it.
That's like, oh my god, the show's main cast is like practically split evenly, 50-50 between women and men. Like, fucking...
Sometimes it's gonna be a boy character, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong inherently about that.
And
like,
it's something so...
Calm down.
And it's so
I
shitty.
understand. I understand that so many people in the RWBY community think being oversensitive is the same as having a personality, but for real, the shtick is getting super old, and you need to stop being pretend triggered at literally everything.
At imaginary
because
concepts.
all you're doing is crying wolf, which makes it harder to find these actually problematic projects.
Exactly. If you look
Getting mad that Cal is making a rewrite where, I don't know, Neo is probably nice. I don't know.
Neo
She
and
loves
Fox is
Neo.
probably
That's
dating.
okay. But getting mad that Cal Calixian, one of the nicest people in the community, and just a swell person, is making a rewrite in general is a waste of your time.
Yeah. And if you
Why
are
are you
so
so mad?
offended at the idea of someone doing a rewrite, then just don't. Leave. Go. That same thing, everyone's like, well, if you don't like the show, don't watch it. Fine. You don't like the rewrite, don't fucking read it. And stop bitching. I don't want to see you in the comments going, this is bad, I don't like this, because this is a rewrite, and you're disrespectful. If you don't like it, don't fucking be here. Easy as fucking that.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
And
there's plenty of other fan content for you to interact. You don't have to like rewrites.
Yeah.
But you also don't have to attack anybody who does.
Exactly. Like it's I've made this example in our big collaboration video. I don't like tomatoes. So I'm not going to go out of my way to attack tomatoes. I'm not going to sit there. If I'm going to go to a restaurant with friends and someone orders a fucking tomato dish, I'm not going to sit there and go, oh my god, tomatoes are so bad. I cannot believe you're engaging with that. I'm just going to not order a tomato dish and we'll be happy and live our fucking lives.
Yeah, it's so easy to just like
not be an asshole? Yeah.
honestly. Just like who sits there and truly thinks that the way they want to interact with a fandom is the only valid one. Like here's an example. I'm not really into shipping in general. And so if I'm looking at fan art, I don't really gravitate to any of the shipping things.
Yeah.
Like I don't look up ship fan art.
For sure.
And if I'm like, I don't know, Yang fan art, and then I see, like, her ex Blake, I don't sit there and go, this isn't okay. They shouldn't be making ship art, regardless of the ship. It could be Yang x Mercury, it could be Yang x...
Sun. I don't know.
Sun. Yeah,
I'm like throwing it for a loop.
Yeah. It could be Yang x literally every person in the villain team. I don't know. I don't care. I'm just not into shipping in general. And so I don't go out there and say, you're not allowed to make this kind of fan art because I don't like it. Instead, like a mature adult with a brain that functions at just even a low capacity. Because let's be honest, I'm not the smartest person in the room. But, I don't go out there and say, you're not allowed to make your shipping fan art. I just don't click on it.
Who are you to police other people's because it's just a form of enjoyment. It's just someone having fun. And who do you think you are to come in and tell them you're not allowed to have that kind of fun?
Yeah. And, like, listen, I get it. Sometimes it's gonna be cringe. Sometimes it's gonna make Jaune the protagonist of a harem.
Yeah,
Sometimes
sure.
it's gonna be melodramatic. Sometimes it's not gonna be written that well. Wow, what a surprise. Children aren't that good at this shit yet.
That's another thing.
That's exactly it. Like, who fucking cares that it's bad? You're not paying money for this. You don't have to look at it.
That one Twitter person artist that we were talking about. Let's not fucking pretend they came out the pussy drawing Mozart. Shout out to Game Grumps for that one.
It's one of the best sentences on earth.
Like, there was a time where that person's artwork looked like ass, alright? Like, no one starts perfect. And the fandom has this really weird concept that if you're gonna do a rewrite, it needs to be as good, if not better, than the professional version. It's like, why? How do you think people grow?
Yeah.
Why have such high, unobtainable standards for something
For
you
fans.
don't even want anyway? If you don't want it, don't.
Such high, unattainable standards for fans, and yet they excuse anything that's wrong with the show.
You had 7 misspelling things in this rewrite. You're shit. You're terrible. Oh, no. They definitely meant to have the entirety of this character just T-pose in the middle of this fight scene. It made sense.
Yeah. It was good that Ruby and Weiss and Blake just didn't do anything while Alice was under attack.
Here's my 700 excuses as to why. Meanwhile, turn around. How dare that rewrite made Jaune the new Ozpin host? That would only make sense. So, a thing that really triggered me to want to make this podcast was I found this incredibly stupid RWBY rewrite bingo.
It's so cringe. It's the cringiest
It's honestly
thing.
cringy. I don't
use cringe as an insult very often.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, kids having fun. Like, I remember I was working in retail, and I was doing the checkout, and some kid in line and her little brother, they were just doing Fortnite dances, and other people would have called it cringe. I thought it was hilarious. I don't see anything wrong with calling children cringe for having fun is asinine.
That's
because
the cringy thing.
We were all cringe.
Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna sit there and attack children for being children, you're the cringy one at that point.
Like, listen, when we were young, people unironically said RAR XD, okay? Like, no one is immune to the cringe. But this, I use this as a prime example of cringe, because it is someone just being so up their own ass.
Yes. That's...
And they, as an adult, think that they are really, like bringing some sass,
Zinging
and it's
it.
like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go through this RWBY rewrite bingo. I'll go through each box. Some of them we've already touched on. These are some of the dumbest fucking things I've ever seen.
They're so... Oh my gosh.
Box number 1. The faunus have heat cycles. Literally when? Who has... You know, I have actually seen fan fictions with this concept, and it is only ever in porn.
I was going to say that exactly.
It is only ever porn fan fiction. It's only lemons that I see that.
Yeah. So don't look up Rule 34, and then you'll be okay.
Also, way to kink shame.
Random weird kink thing I've noticed with the RWBY fandom. They love futa. I don't know what it is about RWBY specifically. They exclusively want every girl to also have a penis.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is so... There's nothing wrong with it, but it's weird that it's just so abundant.
It's very, like, everywhere.
And it's just, like, for such a female prominent cast, it's just so interesting. Anyway.
So, like, in that, what we were saying earlier, that seems like one person had a weird fan fiction where the Faunus had heat cycles, and whoever made this RWBY rewrite bingo is the kind of person who sits there and goes, it wasn't that one fan fiction I didn't like. That must mean all of them I don't like has this too.
Yeah.
Number two, and this is one, I got to this second box and I was like, I need to talk to you about this. It's pointless melodrama. What?
That's the show.
That's
like
what? What? I don't want to see my characters interacting.
What? So in this person's head is the only valid sort of story, like comedy fluff.
What is
like some people want, like what was that pony one? It was like Pony Fallout, My Little Pony.
Yeah, My Little Pony Fallout, I think is what it was.
And it's like 4,000 pages long, and that is melodramatic.
Yeah.
Just like some people are just into that, and also the show has that. Like, were you there for Volume 8 when RWBY? It's none of this is changing anything, and she runs out the door sadly, and then she lies across the stairs and cries like.
Don't you think Yang's whole fucking screaming at Ozpin, "You said no more lies and half truths"? Is that not Also, what's the difference between pointless melodrama and real necessary melodrama? Let's just this box just makes it sound like I don't like it when my characters disagree with each other at any point in time. They always have to agree.
It sounds like they got to point number 2 and had already run out of things that pissed them off.
Yeah, it becomes more apparent as we go on. Box number 3, delivering on the show's once great potential. No one says this. No one who makes a rewrite words it as, I'm living up to the potential that Monty once... No one says this. People will... The thing is, I can tell what was actually said. What was probably actually said was, I am trying my best to capture that spirit, to trying to mimic what was there in the beginning that I liked a lot. And this person who made this bingo board has completely misinterpreted it as someone trying to, be Monty.
And if someone was presenting their rewrite as, I'm delivering on the once great potential. So what?
Yeah. So?
Why is that wrong? Why is that bad?
How dare they? That's another thing. People are...
I'd be interested in what the next sentence is, because I would want to know what they thought made it so bad.
Yeah. What was their interpretation of that once great potential? Because it might be different from mine.
How do they think the canon show not deliver on that?
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
How dare you have an interesting concept.
That might be something like, Adam should have been the final boss.
Yeah.
It's literally just the prelude to the thesis.
and this touches on a bigger topic. A lot of the fandom, especially gets thrown around with the fixing rewrites that are so terrible.
Which is clearly just people not liking Celtic Phoenix's videos.
Even though they're fantastic.
And not wanting to, admit that specifically.
Yeah, if you're gonna call it, pull in names at him. See, watch him tear you apart. I dare you.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, people are like, I just don't like it when these rewrite authors act like their version is better. Well, yeah, that's why they fucking wrote it. Of course they're gonna be proud that they made that they made it the way they hoped it would have. Of course.
What is this imaginary person who goes, hey guys, I just finished making a rewrite. I think it's pretty shitty.
It's definitely worse than the original show. But I wrote
it. Yeah, of course they think that it's at least the concept is more interesting than the show, or at least as interesting. No one's pretending that they're replacing the original.
Exactly. It's just...
And so, yeah, just, oh, boo-hoo, people are proud of what they made.
How dare you be happy with yourself?
Like, what is this fantasy land you live in?
Next box. Uwu Soft Boy Ironwood. Which, again, who fucking cares? So
It's just an AU.
It's-
That's as Uwu hard boy Jaune.
this is like no different than being like, I wish Ironwood was more mean leading up there.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
Whatever.
fine. Like, how... Like, do you think, is Ironwood some untouchable magic character? Can we not try to, like, do his story differently?
Yeah. Are we gonna... Is there something wrong with Uwu Soft Winter?
Is there something wrong with Uwu, new protagonist Neo? Like, everyone loves, like, Neo being a good guy concept. Why is
Yeah.
it bad when it's suddenly Ironwood? Because he has a dick? Because it can't be a boy
that
character, otherwise it's misogynistic. Next.
These people need to do some research.
This next box makes no sense to me. It, like, this one really was like, I don't know what to do with my last box. It just says power levels. I don't understand what this means. Like, discussing power levels? Some people really like that shit. Is it like charging? Have you seen Dragon Ball? Power levels
Like,
can
that's
be
the
pretty
thing.
fun.
Power levels isn't like characters saying numbers at you,
Yeah.
like how they do in Dragon Ball sometimes. That can be how it works. But, like, power levels is a normal thing. Here's an example. Thor Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
So, Hela shows up, and Thor's like, I'm gonna beat her, and then she destroys his hammer.
Yeah.
Her power level is above Thor's.
Yeah.
So that means the story has to be Thor needs to get stronger
Is
to
it-
beat the bad guy. Like, that's how conflict works in most things. That's the reason RWBY tends to be weird about it, because everyone kind of just is vaguely at the same power
Yeah.
level, and they just get worse or better depending on who needs to win.
Yeah, just like, like,
but
is that...
but yeah, what's wrong with power levels?
Like, I just watched Invincible over, like, the last couple of days.
Mhm.
Omni-Man is power level incarnate. Like,
Yeah.
but that's what makes it fun. That's what made that story interesting and engaging. Why? Who's bitching that there's power levels?
I guess the people who think, no, only comedy fluff is valid.
Now, these two are not next to each other in the in this bingo board, but I will say them side by side because it is stupid because they contradict each other.
Okay.
This first box it says, quote, "Gay rep be gone," which I don't know why you gotta say it like that. Just say it like a normal human being. No more gay representation. That's what that box means. Several
Yeah.
boxes down in the same exact line, it says, "Bees kiss to get their canonicity out of the way," and it's completely anticlimactic. So, what you're saying is, you can't get rid of the gay characters, but also, you can't also have them be gay characters.
I guess
If you're-
the Bumblebee one is we just hurried through the kiss, because I didn't want to focus on that. In which case, okay,
That wasn't the-
then they didn't want to focus on
Like,
that.
why?
Like, that sounds like something that you should actually be worried about the real show doing.
Yeah, 'cause
like,
honestly, and I
Like,
think having the bees just kiss and be done with it would be more realistic. Like, it doesn't have to be this big, stupid, grand, the battlefield slows down and a slow-mo 360 shot of them making out. I think that would be pretty shitty and stupid.
yeah, it'd be pretty weird. Yeah, yeah,
Also-
I mean, yeah, it'd be lame if they just erased the gays,
Yes.
but, so yeah, wow, you've got one so far. One good point.
Too bad you
in-
contradicted it in your own bingo board.
But I bet you, because the way they're wording, I bet you what that is code for is Black Sun is the
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah, your fanfiction is only accurate if it has my favorite ship in it. Otherwise, you're homophobic.
If you have Black Sun, you're homophobic. That means no gays are allowed. And it's like,
And even though in those same fanfictions, like RWBY and Weiss could be dating, because a lot of people who ship Black Sun also seem to ship White Rose.
yeah. So, like, I just...
Also, what fantasy world? What if this rewrite has them just be, like, more chill about it? Like, what if the rewrite is not from the perspective of the bees, and they're just gay in the background? Like...
Yeah, what if the focus is just not on... Did you know that can happen? Did you know that you can make a rewrite or a fan fiction or anything that isn't explicitly about Blake and Yang? Did you know?
Who'd guess?
Did you know that's a possibility? Like, there's nothing inherently wrong with being like, I want to establish Blake and Yang as, like, they are canonically dating in my rewrite, so I'll have them kiss, and that, like, cool. So,
yeah,
but the focus is on...
all of the weird ambiguousness of the show is gone. They kiss.
Yeah.
That is a solid confirmation that they are dating. Now I get back to rewriting whatever my rewrite is about.
Yeah, now I can go back to focusing on, I don't know, Ruby... trying to bring her mom back to life, or whatever the rewrite's about.
I like Bumblebee, so they need to be center focused all the time.
Yeah.
Here's the next box. Every character arcs for every single secondary character with less than 5 minutes of screen time. Again, I never see this unless the entire point is an anthology series where it's like, what happened to fucking Team Indigo after...
Yeah, and that could be neat.
Yeah.
I think that sounds like tons of fun, getting to see, like, because, you know, that is a big draw for RWBY, is that they do have all these interesting background characters that we all get attached to, like Team Funky, or...
Coco, Team Coffee and Team Sun, getting whole books dedicated to them, but a rewrite author can't do that.
We all fell in love with Pilot Boy, you know, like, what, so, boo-hoo-hoo. What, you're gonna bitch and cry if they focus on one of the main characters, Jaune, but then you're also gonna bitch and cry when they focus on the background characters? So what do you want?
But yeah, this entire bingo board basically boils down to, don't change literally anything. I want it to be exactly like the show.
And it's like, no. And you don't do it. How about that? Make your own rewrite where you're just copy and pasting, like, the dialogue from the show. There you go. Wow, what an exciting time you've spent.
Yeah, so great.
Like, I don't even make rewrites. I don't even read them.
No.
Like, but who cares?
Why can't
Who cares what other people want to do when they want to interact
up
with this
in
fandom?
arms about other people having an idea? How dare they?
How dare?
This next box is real stupid. And I'm gonna quote this verbatim again.
Okay.
Bruh, spelled B-R-U-H. Bruh, this is literally just your OC story. Stop being a pussy and just let it stand on its own. Well, if they did that, you'd bitch at them for doing that too. 100%.
That's also an important thing. So, a lot of people start out with fan content before they go into making their original characters. Because it's easy to kind of make fan content.
It's easy.
Because you've got staples to work with. A character is already established. You don't have to come up with the characterization. It's a great practice for people who just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Later on, they might then make their own original characters. Oh, boohoo, you're getting mad that people need to learn how to sketch first. But also, too, like how I mentioned earlier, some people don't want to make their own characters.
Exactly.
And I wanted Jaune to be my character.
Yeah,
who cares?
I wanted Jaune,
I wanted
Weiss
to be my character.
Yeah.
I wanted Blake to be my character. Surprise, it doesn't just happen to Jaune.
Bruh. The way this is worded,
This reeks of 4chan neckbeards.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
It reeks of someone, like, in their mid-20s to mid-30s who desperately wants to keep pretending they're still a hip, cool teen. This next box, again, makes no sense. The faunus racism is somehow even worse. Worse how?
How?
Like, do you mean, like, there's less racism, which is what I would think would be worse, or there's more racism, which is... Alright, there's another fucking issue with the simpletons online, where they will see a story where, like, alright, here's a rewrite. Adam is canonically abusive. He would hit Blake. We see it in the story. that means you advocating for abuse.
Yes, what is this thing
No.
where people, like, suddenly can't comprehend intent?
Yeah.
Like, I got a comment on my soundtrack video where someone was like, you know, if you don't pay attention, or if you don't know that this is from RWBY, the song Smile is kinda... and I'm like, you mean because it's talking about racism? Like,
just because...
it's not advocating racism. Do you think Love, Simon is homophobic because it approaches the topic of homophobia?
Exactly.
Are you truly incapable of comprehending intent if a bad guy is homophobic?
Yeah, and it's always also because they're always the best. Because alright, so I reviewed My Pride. Not a perfect story, but I thought I had fun with it. I got a bunch of comments being like, "Isn't this ableist?" No, the villains are ableist.
Yes.
Do you think Voldemort? You think you're supposed to be on the side of the guy murdering fucking people?
Yeah.
Voldemort.
Do you watch any movie and think, oh man, I'm watching Captain America, and even though it's called Captain America, this Red Skull guy, he likes killing people. It seems like this movie wants me to kill people. Like are you... Also, if you think that way, you're not old enough to be watching things. Then you need to have cartoons on.
Turn back on Dora the Explorer. It's charming, You'll have a lovely time, learn some Spanish, that shit gets fun.
But, like, good lord, like...
It's just... And with a sensitive topic, such as, like, homophobia or racism or ableism, with sensitive topics like that, this can be a very healthy way to broach the topic and to explore it in a way that might help someone understand who does not suffer from those kinds of discrimination. Like, if I read a fan fiction that broaches the topic of racism, it can help me understand how people, like, go through their daily lives dealing with daily forms of racisms. Yes. That does not mean it's advocating for it.
I watched the movie The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Oof.
I did not walk away from that movie thinking it was advocating being a Nazi.
Yeah.
Like, are you stupid? Are you unable to recognize who the bad guys are?
Like, just because...
in anything?
Just because a movie broaches a sensitive topic, or a rewrite, or anything, just because it broaches a sensitive topic, that does not mean you should never try to boil it down to that simplistic of a concept of it's even worse. Do you watch a movie like Bamboozled and think or Get on the Bus, or Do the Right Thing? They're all Spike Lee movies. I really like Spike Lee. Do you watch any of his movies and think that broaching the topic of racism was a decision he took lightly, and a decision you should view lightly?
Yeah, fucking, and in this situation, racism, but it's even worse. Okay, so that's ludicrously vague. That gives me literally nothing to work with. How is it worse? How can you make it worse than how this show has already done it?
Yeah,
literally.
honestly.
But at the end of the day, what you are, crying about is someone just being bad at their craft right now. Mm-hmm. At some fan creator who is not getting paid doing a bad job. So, if it's the topic of racism, that's a tough topic, but if they wanted to approach it, well, they have as much qualifications as Miles and Carrie do to do that. But, it's like looking at an amateur artist, where they've got, like their head's a lopsided triangle and they only have one eye, because, and saying, that's bad. No shit, Sherlock. They're learning. If you just hate interacting with amateur products, then go
Leave,
away. Then
yeah.
get out of the fandom, I guess. Because that's what fandoms are. Or amateurs.
Alright, moving on to our next box. Male characters get more focused than Team RWBY because the misogyny is going strong. That's how it's worded. That's literally how it's fucking worded. Like, we already broached this topic plenty.
Remember how, we had 4 whole episodes focused on Jaune in Volume 1?
Yeah, so misogynistic of them. How could Rooster Teeth just blatantly show their misogyny in those 4 episodes?
Yeah, remember how we introduced a whole slew of male bad guys and a whole new male deuteragonist at the start of Volume 4?
Man, how dare they introduce penises to the show?
Yeah. Remember when we learned about Ren's backstory? Man.
Pretty misogynistic of them.
Super misogynistic. Like,
why have such a reductive... How can anyone have such a reductive point of view?
This sounds like those really toxic wasps, the Bumblebee fans who were going around telling people to KYS. It sounds like they have just shifted focus to a new thing to be mad about because their ship became canon, and everyone was like, okay, well, whatever, who cares? I don't want to fight with you anymore. Like, what are these femcel weirdos?
Here's this next one. Blake isn't an abuse victim, but she still runs away so the writer can call her a bitch. What incredibly specific fucking fanfiction.
That is so specific.
This is on a bingo... Do you not know what bingo boards are for? It's for things you see commonly. It's for things you expect to fucking see. You don't fucking walk into bingo and write 177 G4 on the fucking corner, because that's not gonna be a ball they pull from their fucking bingo balls.
That sounds like, again, that they read one, probably the same one where Faunus had heat cycles.
Probably.
They read one bad fan fiction, and that was it. And, like, I mean, I also hate to break it to people, but Blake's
she is
kind
bitch.
of a bitch.
She's pretty bitchy.
Yeah. She was ludicrously unlikable in volumes 4, 5, and 6. And then she got a girlfriend, and then she became demure, which super cool.
Also, she didn't even run away because of the abuse. She ran away out of a selfless concept to make sure her friends didn't get targeted by Adam. Whether he hit her or not in that scene, she would have still run.
And she ran away from home in the beginning because of, like, her beliefs with the White Fang and, like, approaching their discrimination. So she wasn't getting abused by anybody back then.
So not only is this bingo just completely fucking, like, taking the most random-ass, once-in-a-lifetime concepts, but they're not, they don't even actually understand how the real show works.
The next box is gonna be, they make Oscar a girl and give him heterochromia just so they can make another ice cream joke. It's like, what?
This next box basically boils down to, I don't like it when you have opinions.
Yeah.
Adam is morally gray, thus returning to the original character the stands made up from the trailer.
According to what I've heard, Monty, or the writers, one of them, has said that Adam was supposed to be morally gray.
Because,
it's hard to tell because, as always, there's so much fucking through the grapevine, word of mouth shit with RWBY.
Yeah. But really, you know what? Who cares?
But what's the matter? Yeah, like...
How dare!
They make Neo morally gray, so they can do morally gray Neo problems.
Nah.
They make Watts morally gray. They make... Who's another bad guy? They make Raven morally gray. Like, are you just mad because it's Adam? Like, I get it. Adam stands are bad.
They are.
They need to calm down a little bit.
Good riddance.
Like, someone can be interested in exploring Adam without being one of those, like, also, like, really, really aggressive Adam stands,
like,
you
if
know?
they make Adam morally gray, I don't really give a shit so long as it's an interesting story.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, if it's good, who cares?
If he was more morally gray in the show, it might have led to more interesting... It might have helped his character not be so fucking terrible. Let's be honest. He was a boring-ass
He was really wasted.
One-note character.
It's a shame. I honestly pity all those Adam fans. They got really shafted. What a shame that they're really rude to everybody.
Like, this is just like, I wanted to do one thing slightly different. How dare you?
This is another one where it's like, then don't read that one.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah, if the title of the rewrite is Morally Gray Adam, okay, and that's not something that interests you, okay, cool, then just don't click on it.
yeah.
Like,
even if, you know,
what is this Clockwork Orange situation you're in? Where you're
forcing
strapped
your
down
eyes open.
and your eyes are being held open and you have to read the horrible rewrites.
This next box fucking cracks me up. A complete ass pull of a villain redemption. It was fine when Emerald did it, but
Yeah.
it can't happen to rewrites.
Also, it's gonna happen with Neo too. I bet you they're not thinking about Neo when they say that.
Basically, it's the villains I don't like. Oh, I don't like Adam for some fucking reason. You can't redeem him.
It would be weird to redeem him. Again, that's just being upset that amateurs are making products.
Also, like, if you do,
But I don't know, maybe someone really wants Watts
yeah.
to be a good guy. They want Watts to be a good guy and to be a new team Ruby and Juniper surrogate father, just like Crow.
Yeah,
Maybe that's
sure.
all
Yeah.
they really want.
Live your best dream, whatever.
Who cares?
Also, it's
Who
like,
cares?
what if someone is just taking Emerald's ass pull of a villain redemption and
Yeah.
trying to rewrite it so it's better? Like, is
it Torchwick? Is that what?
I
'cause
bet
the
that's
thing.
what it is.
So many
Celtic
people.
Phoenix made
Yeah, so
Torchwick.
many people hate Celtic Phoenix's videos for literally no reason, and I bet you that's what it is. Cause he did that. He made Torchwick like he redeemed Torchwick.
Yeah, he's Ozpin's next life, which made sense. Honestly, it made so much sense. If you actually, because that's the thing, they'll be like, "Oh my god, I heard that he redeemed Torchwick. Oh my god." If you actually fucking, use your brain and watch the fucking video, if you pay attention to it, like he sets it up. Like, he does a very good job setting up and establishing the villain redemption of Torchwick and Neo throughout his rewrite. And
It's
it makes
not even a
perfect sense.
horrible choice.
Also,
Like,
it makes perfect sense. He already has green eyes, just like Ozpin. He already fights with a fucking cane, just like Ozpin. Also, what an interesting idea. This guy who was Ruby's biggest adversary for the first 3 seasons is now supposed to try to work with her. What an interesting concept.
Lots of people like the idea of Ozpin going to an already established character anyway,
Yeah.
rather than just introducing Oscar.
Like,
personally, I don't mind Oscar now. But back in Volume 4, I was like, I don't care about this kid. So yeah, there's nothing. And also, like,
Celtic Phoenix has only written Torchwick being Ozpin's next life for 1 theoretical season, and he's already done vastly more interesting things than Oscar has done throughout his entire life on screen since Volume 4.
Oscar really gets shafted in screen time. And and Torchwick's a great choice because, not only for all the fun reasons you already listed, but also because he was already a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Like, people liked Torchwick. He was interesting.
Like,
he was funny.
That's why we introduce characters and stories. Like, that's, like, why establish all these fucking characters just to be like, oh, and here's this farm kid. We're introducing him literally at the last second.
Yeah.
It's like if Frodo made it all the way up Mount Doom, died halfway there, and then some other random schmuck walked up and picked up the ring and did the last
Not
5 inches.
Sam. Yeah.
Alright, next. Yang isn't allowed to have an identity besides Ruby's babysitter. So, what she was in... what?
This sounds another incredibly
specific.
because I think a lot of fan works prefer to have Yake. That's the better ship name, Yake.
Or
but
Bang.
to have Yang kind of just focusing more on Blake, like the sister thing isn't ever really explored. Some fan works probably want to have them actually feel more like sisters more often.
What's wrong with that,
Also, yeah, boo-hoo.
This, again, bouncing back to their one, like, the bees need to have a really big, overdramatic kiss. I want that. It just seems like they don't like it when Blake or Yang does anything outside of be gay with each other. That sounds like what this entire bingo board is boiling down to. I want it only about the bees, and they have to be big gay all the time.
And once again, it's just them bitching about it being a subject they're not interested in.
Yeah. You know what? I don't read the futa porn RWBY has out there because I don't want to. I'm not gonna make a fucking shitty, cringe-ass bingo board about it.
I don't like cringe comedy, so I don't watch cringe comedy.
Yeah.
I don't like horror movies, so I don't watch horror movies.
Wow,
this is so easy. This is so easy. It's so easy to exist this way.
You know how
I'm
easy
not
it
permanently upset that I made myself watch something I knew I didn't like.
It reads as if the fans that cry about fucking rewrites just want something to be bitching about. Because
for real,
they have nothing else to do with their lives, so if they bitch about something, and they can be upset and mad about something, eventually they can get in an argument about it.
Go outside and touch grass.
Fucking do anything. Write your own fucking rewrite. How about that?
Yeah,
Make
your own boring-ass rewrite.
And watch everyone else sit there and go, wow, this wasn't as good as I wanted it to be.
Make your boring rewrite where it's just Blake and Yang cuddling. And that's it. There's no melodrama.
There's no Jaune.
There's
not a penis to be seen.
No. I'm sure people will eat it up, right? But, jeez.
This is the same. This next box is the same as the one from before, but it's Weiss's racism gets even worse because, and then they have after the word because, they have a space and 3 question marks. Way to do shit grammar in your fucking bingo board. Like, why is there a space there?
Also, I mean, fuck, that's a fine thing to explore. What if Weiss didn't just magically become no longer racist at the end of Volume 1?
Ooh, how dare!
That could be a cool,
explore an interesting idea.
Yeah, it could be cool to actually explore that, to be like, let's learn, let's see how someone actually learns and grows out of being racist.
Yeah,
because that can happen in real life. Gonna let you know that. People can learn and change.
Yes.
People who are racist are not doomed to be racist for forever.
Yeah.
Personally, I would prefer it if they would all actually learn and stop being racist.
In a perfect world, absolutely.
Yeah.
But just because someone wants to explore this concept, it's the same thing as the other one. It's the same. This is literally, you didn't know what to put on your stupid, shitty bingo board. You had 4 that you actually wanted to put on, and then desperately tried to think of random bullshit to fill up the rest of it.
Also, because, I don't know, you don't need a reason to make your rewrite. You could make your rewrite about the Great Gatsby, but he's got scoliosis. Do you need a reason to do that?
Someone just had an idea.
It's just, I guess if the rewrite is just Yang being racist all the time, then yeah, that sounds like 0 fun.
Yeah, but I don't fuck it.
But then at that point, just, then just don't read it.
Also,
that's the thing.
That's not
you can read bad. You don't have to read it.
That's it. Over and that's the thing. You don't have to.
That's the final verdict.
Next box, bullshit surprise parent reveal. Coming from the fandom who desperately wants Crow to be Ruby's dad. What do you want? Who cares?
Also maybe Nora. Oh, Freya's her mom.
Yeah.
At this point, you're just mad that the fans have theories.
Yeah.
At this point, you just don't like the fandom.
Yes.
Was this made by someone actually in the fandom?
Apparently it was on Tumblr.
Or some outsider looking in, being like, all these fandom kids are so cringy and shitty.
Yeah.
I bet this is what their rewrites have. Is this just a reflection of the community that the RWBY fandom has crafted? Is this how other people see us?
I don't know. The people who the people who are anti-rewrite tend to be really fucking loud.
They're so loud. Oh my
So
gosh.
fucking loud. And they always want to chime in and give their 2 cents. I made a tweet. Sorry if you can hear the lawnmower behind me. I made a tweet. And all I said was, I'm excited that Cal and Dan are doing rewrites, because that sounds cool, and maybe it will kick the stigmatism that they're all bad. And I got so many shit-ass fucking people being like, well, I like them, but I also don't like, here's a specific caveat of what I don't like. It's like, well, I don't give a shit. I'm not here to hear, I don't want to hear your specifics about what rewrites you don't read. I don't give a shit. I want to give praise and compliments to the people I do enjoy without hearing your bullshit opinions.
And then you say, like, hey, maybe shut up, maybe calm down. And then go, well, I was just saying my opinion. And no one gives a fuck about your dipshit opinion.
Yeah, it wasn't an open invitation.
I'm just giving my opinion about how you're being cringe because you've decided you hate a product before it even exists.
I don't like rewrites if they use the word fixing. Wow, I'm glad one word is so triggering for you. Wow.
Yeah.
You're so hip and cool, people will definitely like you.
You're so special and interesting. Wow. You must be so fun at parties.
Next box. This one also makes no fucking sense. Anime fan service that canon actively avoids for a reason.
So canon actively avoids it so they can make money, because they know they have a young audience, and a quite the portion of people who want to pretend RWBY is feminist, and female audience members who come to see cool women do cool fights and not to watch panty shots. That's why. It's because they make more money not having anime fan service. And this is a tangent, but I realized this the other day. RWBY fans. Okay, so RWBY fans just don't interact with anything else.
No, it seems like it sometimes.
Except for shit that, except for, crappy / fine, I guess. I don't know, I didn't watch it. Except for other American animes.
Yeah.
Like High Guardian Spice or Arcane.
Or, things that remind them of RWBY.
That remind them of RWBY. And yet, they also all assume that they're anime experts.
Yeah.
And that they know all the tropes. But it's like these archaic... It's like if Family Guy talked about anime.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, anime... The power of friendship is always how anime wins. And it's like...
Another thing with
No!
the fandom I've noticed is that there's this weird duality where justification is either anime logic or real world logic, and it's like, it can't be, because I made my video talking about weapons. And I had someone was like, well, an excuse for why something might work is because generally with anime tropes, and they talked about it like I was a fucking idiot, and it's like,
yeah, they assume you also don't interact with with other shit like how they do.
Well, in usually with anime, this is how this works. And then some other person turned around and was like, well, in the real world, this is how this works. I'm like, we can't use both fucking every anime in the world and reality as the basis for RWBY, alright?
And also, hey, I know it might be difficult to wrap your brain around. 1, not all anime is fan service. 2, American-made content also has fan service.
What? You mean I can see Black Widow's titties all the time for a reason?
What?
And I know this is another fucking... They didn't like Celtic Phoenixes. It's just because in his Volume 5 rewrite, they had a bathhouse episode. The scene, really, not even an episode.
Yeah.
And it was totally fine. There was no, accidental boobies or anything. They just had a conversation in a bathhouse, and it made sense in the story because it was right after Weiss had been kidnapped from the bandits, and then they made it back home, and it was a joke between Weiss and Vernal that Weiss bathed too much. And then when she got back home, RWBY was like, wow, Weiss, you need a bath. And she's like, I got made fun of for bathing too much. And then they went and had it was a setup and execution for a fucking joke, and this person just didn't get it. They just saw someone on Twitter tweeting about the artwork they did for that scene, apparently, and went, how,
also,
fan service in my RWBY? No way.
It's set in Haven, right? Like, it's volume 5.
Yeah.
So they're in Haven, correct?
Yes.
Haven is loosely based around Asian architecture in some ways.
They have bathhouses.
They have bathhouses. Wow. It's not just a fan service thing. Like, it's a real thing that people go to.
Do you fucking think, when I play Yokai Watch, a game for children, a game for little babies that I love with all my heart, when I go to the bathhouse to fight the giant pig monster that's like taking over the bathhouse, do you think that's fan service? You think they're gonna fan service the 8-year-old kids in that? No! Baths exist!
Also, I'm gonna point out that fan service is not, like, an inherent bad. Like, it's okay, you know?
Sex sells,
especially,
without a doubt.
there's just, it's okay. Personally, I'd like it if it went for both directions, you know? Watch any of my videos, basically, to hear me yell about how come we have to see half-naked girls all the time, but the boys are all covered up, you know? But, Jesus.
Next box, the kids aren't even friends anymore. They barely talk to each other. So, melodrama was bad, but now you want melodrama? What do you want them to do?
No, see, it's on the bingo board, so that makes it bad. So, so that means, well, I mean, it's hilarious anyway, because that's what the show is like.
It is.
So they're all friends. They're all like, yay, Team RWBY and Juniper, we're all friends, hooray.
But,
okay,
like,
but they don't talk.
They
so,
really
like,
don't talk.
And also, like, I don't know, it's an interesting AU to go through.
Yeah.
What happens if Team RWBY breaks up?
Also, like,
Well, I don't know. Let's find out. One
of the most interesting concepts was the concept that Yang was mad at Blake for leaving. That was interesting. But now, no. They have to always be talking with each other, but never having a conflict, apparently.
Not allowed. No conflicts allowed.
Only fluff. That's what this is.
That's all this is. All they want is fluff.
Random fluff. Specifically about the bees.
You can have the fluff. There's nothing wrong with wanting, like, your nice fluff fix.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. But there's nothing wrong with people wanting not that.
To condemn everyone else for wanting something different, that's the problem. You're allowed to like whatever you want. But why attack everyone else for wanting something different? That's
Do you go to a party and shit on everyone who got a Dr. Pepper when you got a Sprite instead?
Yeah, right?
Some people want to drink Dr. Pepper. Wow, it's not bothering you.
They're not
don't have to drink it.
Yeah.
Unless if that's the only option at the party, in which case, get water.
Next box. We're almost done. We're on the last
There's one
row.
that I remember, because you had showed me this. I had only glanced through it, because it was so cringe. But there's one I'm waiting for.
RWBY's optimism gets punished for being too naive because the writer is American.
This is the one.
Yep, that's exactly how that is written in this fucking box.
Fun fact, guys, did you know that Miles Luna and Carrie Shawcross and Eddie Rivas and Kirsty, whatever her last name is? Burkhart. Yeah, I think so. Wow, they're American? Did you know? Did you know they're American? Fun fact, guys.
Hey.
Did you know Monty was American? Did you know that?
Hey, guys, did you know that you don't have to be American for optimism stories to get like that? Like, what?
Hey, guys, did you know that Americans can write other things? Like,
did you know
Americans aren't beholden to writing optimism getting punished?
Have you ever seen Madoka Magica? If that isn't optimism getting punished, I don't know what is. And they're not Americans. Why?
More baffling than ignoring the fact that optimism getting punished is an incredibly normal thing to do, and something that the show does.
Yes,
remember, she was optimistic that her plan would work, and then she cried on the stairs.
Yeah.
It didn't. So ignoring how you're just mad about something that happened in the canon, it's the weird, like, anti-American thing here.
Yeah.
Like,
who are you trying to zing? Like, why is your bingo board just littered with these shitty attempted zingers? Like, you're already being a piece of shit. Now you're just openly, like here's my bully board. Here's my RWBY bully board.
And also, if these are the things that you hate so much, then why are you mad that Cal and Dan are making rewrites? Because she's Canadian and he's British.
Yeah, right?
like, holy shit, homie.
Way to imply all American writers are bad, also.
Which is hilarious, because that includes the actual story's writers.
And even, that includes things like the guys who wrote Avatar: The Last Airbender. That includes Stan Lee and Kirby.
Kirby.
Ditko.
Jack Kirby.
Jack Kirby. Yeah.
I thought of the little pink puffball. I was like, what? Yeah, listen. Okay, listen, I get it. There's a lot going on in America right now, okay? Believe it or not, we didn't become great again. Okay? But also, I don't know, calm down a little bit.
Why drag that into this?
Yeah, it's so weird to just do that for no reason.
Next box. See, this is the thing, it can't all just be fluff, because this box says, Team RWBY doesn't get to do shit. So, what do you want them to do? You don't want them having pointless melodrama. You don't want Blake to run away. You don't want to explore the concept of racism. Do you want them to just run up to a beowulf and punch, and that to be the end of your story? And then Blake and Yang have a mega kiss sesh?
You don't want the kids to argue with each other, so what's the plot? There's no bad guy redemption. Is it just them beating up your bully? I mean, the bad guys?
Or is this just another, how dare you explore anyone other than Team RWBY? Whether it's a background character you don't want seeing an arc for, or Jaune again.
Yeah.
It's always just Jaune. They never bring up Juniper. It's Jaune they hate. And I'll be honest, I don't even think Jaune is a fine character. But I'm not super into him. He's not the greatest.
No, he's not that interesting.
Not one of my favorites or anything.
No, if he and the rest of Team Juniper left the show, I would be like, well, that's really weird. But I wouldn't be crying about it.
With this weird, toxic hate towards a character existing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Why?
And it's hilarious because I bet you these are the same exact people who get all pissy when critics accuse Miles of Jaune being Miles' self-insert.
Yeah, fucking...
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Like, what is it? Do you want to defend the boy or do you hate him? Okay? You can't have it both ways.
Next box. Pointless betrayal within RWBY and Juniper. Well, if
this is another problem, just don't read that fanfic.
Also, if there was a betrayal, it wasn't pointless. There was a reason.
And if it was pointless, oh no, you're upset that an amateur did bad again.
Oh no! What kind of betrayal? Honestly, I thought it would have been really interesting if I was really into the idea of Nora joining the Happy Huntresses and Ren joining the Aesopes, even just temporarily.
But this is the same person.
Is that a crime?
This is the same person who thinks it's bad if they're not friends.
They need to always be doing something and be friends, but never argue. Can't ever argue.
Because that's interesting. Because that's so fucking interesting to read. Conflict is good. It allows the characters to interact and develop around each other.
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't be a constant. Characters who are constantly in conflict is tiring.
Yes.
That's kind of been a main issue of mine with Tales of Arise, which I've been playing through, is that the characters are often arguing, and that kind of blows. I'd like for them to become I've been playing for 30 plus hours. be friends already.
But here's in the second episode of The Legend of Korra, she's at odds with Tenzin because of him teaching her airbending. That was a conflict. That was something that was interesting. It
allowed something
together
to do.
and also gave the entire episode a plot structure. So just not have them disagree ever is an issue we have with the show now, where the team doesn't get to really develop with each other at all, And
they
don't
all
get it-
feel like a
No.
hive mind. Yeah. One of the most interesting, like, moments in RWBY was when Weiss and Blake fought near the end of Volume 1. Then they both grew really quickly and
like,
not well,
it was
but
a-
it happened.
Yeah.
But it was a cool moment.
Ren and Yang's argument is another more current example. Like,
Yeah.
what life are you living? And I can't even think, like, because I see this a lot, where people just don't want any arguments ever. And it's like, but why?
This isn't real life. They're not your friends.
Yeah.
This, like, I don't want my friends to ever argue. I want to get along with all the people I love.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Wow. But this is a story that's being written.
Yes.
Things need to happen. Like,
And
that those things could include their friends. And it doesn't have to be a big disagreement.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a civil war.
And even if it did, like, what would that? Well, wouldn't it be kind of interesting if, like,
Yes!
Team Coffee was actually bad guys the whole time? Wouldn't that have been neat?
But again, this is all coming down to preference. I don't want that to happen. Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh, you made an opinion. Oh, wow.
Now you can learn it's not the only opinion.
Exactly. Like, either this is someone not comprehending that their opinion is not the only valid one, and also just us thinking that amateurs making amateurish content is worthy of open derision.
Yeah.
Like
this
do you hate children because they're not good at playing sports?
Yeah.
Like do you push that little 5-year-old over and kick sand in their eyes because they're not good at scoring a basketball goal?
Yeah. Nailed it. Nailed it. Sport.
Basketball goal.
The sport stuff. On to our next box. This is just repeat power levels again. Half of this fucking bingo board is repeating the same things, but with different words. Quotations. This isn't even Salem's final form.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? Her
What did
current
that be cool?
form's kind of boring.
I expect the real show to give Salem multiple forms.
And even if she does or doesn't, honestly, what does it matter? Like,
who cares?
Is that really gonna be, oh man, I was really enjoying this fanfiction. I really enjoyed it. This rewrite was great. I loved it. It was exactly what I wanted. The bees made out and it was super important. There was no arguments between any of the characters. Team RWBY got to be pivotal. But at the end, Salem transformed and it ruined it. It completely shit. Not worth reading. Terrible. Really?
Like, do you also cry and piss yourself because that happened in Resident Evil Village?
Yeah.
Like, but I liked the Dommy Mommy vampire. Yeah. I didn't like it when she became gross. Okay, congratulations. You're so interesting because you have the same opinion as everyone else. Yeah, we all wanted the boneable giant woman. But too bad. She had a final form. What? They made the bad guy scary?
Also, because, like, let's be, like, Salem's current form isn't threatening, to me at least.
It'd be, and since we've already seen her do body modifications of putting wings on the monkeys for literally no reason, then it's not hard to think that maybe she might houndify herself.
Also,
you know?
And even if someone is trying to work with as much canon as they can, like, maybe if they want her to be more of a threat, why is that such a big issue? Why do you care so fucking much?
It sounds more like this person just doesn't like the concept of the anime trope of Frieza saying, this isn't even my final form, which is like, so, that's only a thing in Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to tell you guys.
Like, I can't think
other anime don't really usually do that.
Oh, but you can't...
Unless if it's a shonen where they have, like, a long-established bad guy. In which case, wow, it's exactly like Final Fantasy making you fight 7 different forms of God. This is not... Why are you here?
Yeah. And here's we're finally at the end of this bingo board.
Okay.
Is what they really meant to say this entire time. Jaune, the OP harem protagonist. Who fucking gives
then
a shit?
just
Who cares?
don't read it.
Yeah.
Listen, that's not a concept I'm interested in either.
No.
I don't care.
Not
I don't
in the
want
slightest.
and so you know what I do? I don't read it.
Yeah.
I don't seek it out.
Go on a tirade.
I remember-
I don't go on Twitter and go to other people's fucking tweets talking about other rewrites to bring up this concept. I
Yeah.
don't tear down other people's fun by being like, well, the bad ones are like this, though. This was a bad one I didn't like. Way to be a fucking party pooper. Way to just fucking be the biggest, wettest blanket in the room and no one likes you.
I remember when I used to, like, upload art on DeviantArt, I saw this so often. It was constant. Somebody really, really wanted Jaune to be Goblin Slayer. You know, because he's got, like, armor on, so you can't see Goblin Slayer. And they would shittily Photoshop Jaune into the armor. And also, he was always dating Weiss, and her PNG was always squished. That sounds so funny. And there was another girl who looked
on my desktop, because that's fucking hilarious.
There was always another girl from some, like, video game or Fate, I don't know. She was also very Weiss adjacent.
Oh, God.
And she was also a girlfriend, I think. And all of the PNGs were always off.
Like they gotta they wanted to readjust them, but they didn't know you could adjust the length and
Like the
width at the same time. So
yeah, and so they're always like skewed, and and I was like, I don't get it, man. I don't. But you do you. I did not leave a comment. I didn't run around talking about how this person is stupid.
how this rewrite is bad.
I just held on to the memory because I valued that person. Because every time I was like submitting my artwork to fan groups or whatever, I'd see their Jaune Goblin Slayer PNGs, JPEGs, and I was like, I'm glad you're still making stuff, even if it's not for me. I don't get it.
I hope with
but
all my
congrats.
heart they've improved and they're still doing it, but now it's like hyper.
But now it's
realistic.
really good.
Super,
Yeah.
I hope with all my heart.
I agree. I hope they're out there. I hope they're happy.
So that was that bingo board, that really terrible, shitty bingo board, and I thought about making my own bingo board, but then to get back at them, but then I realized that's just a really shitty bully thing to do, and I'm better than that. So I didn't need to make a shitty bingo board making fun of them, where I just repeat myself 20 times. Speaking of rewrites, I want to talk about a rewrite that I love, and everyone should love this, and if you don't know about it, you should look it up. This is my favorite rewrite out of any medium in anything. It is Awkward Zombie's version of Smash Brothers.
Yes.
Her interpretation of the Smash Bro world, how it's like a job, but also they live there like dorms, and Roy got fired, and Marth is like this pompous ass. This is the best rewrite I have ever seen.
Absolutely.
So
I love Awkward Zombies.
so
And
good.
she doesn't do Smash comics that often anymore.
But when she does, it's a treat.
but her original comics, those are in a special place in my heart.
And so and I love it, and it's so much fun and enjoyable. So why? And it sucks to sit here and think someone would look at that and go, "I don't like it because you made Marth the main character. You're misogynistic. How dare? They had conflicts." And so why? Why take something someone does love? I love that, and someone else out there, even if it has all of the worst rewrite tropes you can think of, and Jaune is the OP harem protagonist, someone out there might read that and love it. Why sit there and shit on them for enjoying something? So long as they're not hurting anyone, why attack
not
them?
just go read something you enjoy?
Yeah. And people...
that's the thing. It's such a specific medium of it just being rewrites.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand seeing something constantly on on Tumblr or Reddit or Twitter, something where you're scrolling through content.
Yeah.
And it's just over and over and over again, this is pissing me off. I understand feeling the need to say something about it then.
Yeah.
But what's with these weird personal attacks?
Yeah,
That's the thing,
it's-
too.
it's-
like
you're-
in a vacuum, this bingo board is really embarrassing, but in essence, it's not really hurting anybody.
No.
But who would go out of their way to, like, go after someone?
Yeah.
To be like, I'm replying to your fanfiction, or I am tweeting about this person's whatever.
Yeah.
Or I'm... that's the thing that... You know, it's okay to not like things. And it's okay to share your opinion about not liking things.
Exactly.
But you don't have to be a jerk about it.
Yes.
That's...
You can say you don't like something without attacking someone who does like it.
Yeah.
That you can do that. Like I said on Twitter, I don't like the ship of Fox X Neo because I saw it a lot, and but I know Cal, for example, one of the ones I got most of the fan art retweeted my way. She does really love Fox X Neo. I did not go to one of her retweets or one of her posts and go, I hate this ship. I really think it's bad. Blah, 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 blah. No, I just made my own individual tweet stating my thought in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to rain on her parade. I don't want to attack her for what she's doing. I just want to say my piece.
And you didn't, like, you know... You didn't try to attack anyone who does like
Yeah.
the ship.
Which is nothing. It's
You know?
like I could sit here and say I don't like the idea of Jaune being a harem protagonist, and that's fine.
I
you
agree.
can state your opinion, but if
Yeah.
you state it like all bad rewrites just have Jaune being a harem protagonist and it's misogynistic and bad.
Yeah.
No, that's not you
And of
stating an
course-
opinion. It's targeted. That's an attack.
And of course, you know, sometimes people, like, will word themselves poorly. And what they're trying to do is to just share their opinion, but it ends up coming out more targeted than they perhaps wanted. Yeah, wow. Humans can mess up.
People are
That's
people.
okay. But so often with these rewrites, specifically, it's people doubling down. It's clearly not a, no, I didn't want to attack anybody. It's going out of their way to just rain on people's parade. And like how I said at the beginning of this isn't 1999.
Yeah.
This is so nothing new. If you have so little experience interacting with a fandom that you think AUs are disrespectful,
Yeah.
then you need to get out more. You need to interact with more things than just the RWBY fandom.
Yeah.
Because this is so nothing new. This is the most benign thing.
And what a mean-spirited waste of your time, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of sitting there, because this is something the people who fucking, like, brag on us for being critics, it's like, how could
Yeah.
you spend all your time just shit-talking the show? I'm doing it because I enjoy critique. That's why.
Yeah.
That is why. There's a show
So often I'll think about something that, like, that bothered me. I want to figure out why it bothered me, and maybe think of a way to make it not bother me.
I like talking about a show I do like, even though some people would claim I don't, because I didn't like the latest season. Suddenly, I'm a hater now.
Critter, if you don't love it unconditionally and think it's perfect and unfixable, then that means you're a hater.
You're the hate-dom.
See, obviously, everyone who's a mature adult understands that you have to not accept any level of critique. It has to be absolutely perfect. If you think anything is wrong with a product, then you're not a real fan.
Yep, that's how it works.
Hadoy! And then maybe Daddy Rooster Teeth will let me voice a character. Woo.
No, the thing is, like, I can understand spending your time, and so many people in the fandom claim that I can't ever just say the things I want. I can't ever just claim that I love the show, even though you can. Yeah, there's nothing stopping you. You can go ahead. Rather than I see more people sitting there and bitching that they can't say they love the show, rather than actually ever saying they love the show. So, put in the effort.
Yeah. And, of course, we see it from a side that does share negative opinions more often. But of course, Murder of Birds, he's very positive with the show. And he does get comments that are like, you must be stupid if you think the show is good. And that's not okay either. But Arnold can still share those positive opinions.
Yeah. Just because
stopping him.
Just because someone's gonna make fun of you if you say you love the show, or if you say you hate the show. It's not a one-way street. So I don't know what everyone is bitching about.
Well, what do they call themselves? Because the Hate-dom has their little nickname.
They call themselves the fandom, the real fans, or whatever.
The Simps. I forget what I was even gonna say. I was too busy trying to think of a nickname for them. But they seem to, like, be under the impression that, like, that they're constant victims.
Yeah, it's like, because they'll see, like, videos like mine or yours where we have a critique, and they'll feel like it's an attack on them personally.
You know what's hilarious? This cracks me up, because they're so just openly wrong. This is so funny to me. Okay, because the fandom who, like, apologizes for everything the show does and thinks it's perfect, they get so mad at YouTube because they're like, the algorithm pushes these negative content, so that's bad, so they should just stop making content because YouTube forces it onto me. That's not how algorithms work. No. If you go into YouTube and you search Undertale, you are gonna have a difficult time finding a video where someone is shit-talking Undertale. Mm-hmm. If you search Steven Universe, you're gonna have a pretty 50-50 split between people being like, I'm so excited, let's talk about a fun theory, and the reasons why Steven Universe went to shit.
Yeah.
YouTube pushes the content people are clicking on and thumbs upping.
And the things you engage with, it will push more. I don't get hero high videos recommended to me ever. But I get your videos recommended to me because I watch your videos all the time. And it's like when people are like, TikTok is just slutty girls dancing. Well, it's based off of what you watch. So if you're just seeing slutty girls dancing, that's because it's what you're watching. It's the same thing with, like, the RWBY Hate-dom vids. You're watching them. Yeah. You're engaging them.
You're clicking on them. Because YouTube, especially on the recommendeds, on the right, they will push content related to what you watch.
Exactly.
And so if you're going out of your way to click on these meanie hate-dom videos and leaving a comment about how much you don't like them, YouTube thinks they're engaging with that.
Yeah. And it's something
you want more.
It's nothing. There's nothing I love more. Like, I got like a chain of replies being like, "You're wrong," and I was like, "No, it's called opinions," and they're like, "You're bad, and I hope your videos do poorly." And I love getting the chance to reply with, "Actually, thanks for this 20 comment thread," because even that will push me in the algorithm, so my videos will actually do much better thanks to your many replies. It doesn't matter how mean you are or how, like, upset you are. Any comment you leave will push it more. So you're seeing more negative videos because you are engaging with them. That's how it works.
It's also so not hard to, like, if you want positive RWBY content, go to the Oscars.
Yeah.
Go into the description. You will have 20 plus people to click on. Mm-hmm. There you go. They're all nice. Yeah. They're all super
lovely.
Yep.
Go watch Sirs and Madams.
Phoenix Knight is still cranking out like theories about the island, and I am so impressed with his ability to continually make content with so nothing to work with.
I know.
This isn't sarcasm. I'm just like, you go. You go keep making those theory videos with the radio silence Rooster Teeth is giving you to work with.
Kaito Dan and Raijin Rising are fun React channels.
Yeah. Cal, of course, exists. Yep. Arnold, of course, exists.
There's lots out there. So, back to the point of rewrites.
Right.
Why waste your time? Like, why sit there and bitch constantly about the thing you don't like, rather than celebrate the things you do? Why sit there and go on and on and on about that one rewrite where Jaune was a harem protagonist and the Faunus had hit cycles? Why go on and on and on about that one thing, rather than spreading the joy of the things you did like? Why?
Yeah.
You know?
Unless if what you're doing is actually critiquing it, you know, if you're breaking down what went wrong, how they could have improved.
Mm-hmm.
But if all you're doing is bitching, then you're literally no better than this imaginary idea you have in your head of the hate-dom.
Exactly. Exactly. And I feel like this podcast probably won't make it to the people who really need to hear this stuff.
No.
But
Because why would they ever... I'm not gonna listen to that sign because I don't know how to read.
they're not saying the exact same opinions I have. So
Yeah,
I
clearly.
won't,
Seeing as
even
how
though-
that's the only problem they seem to really have based on the bingo board.
even though being, like, the sign of being a mature adult is getting new information and changing your current mindset. That is
Yeah,
literally...
being able to grow.
to change
people
your
are
mind.
not
to do
people are not permanently bad.
to also
you know?
engage with something and understand something, but not from your same point of view. Like, I watched Lily Orchard's video about why Legend of Korra is garbage, and that
Yeah.
was fine. I disagree, clearly. I love Legend of Korra, but it's fine. I can still, like, listen to what someone else has to say and see it from their point of view. Because I am
And,
a
you know,
mature
you
adult who, like, understands that not
you
everyone
can
needs to be
disagree.
agreeing with me.
You can disagree and have no real good reason to disagree, and then just not engage. Like, you don't have to be an asshole. Example, Arlo, I think that's his name. He's a YouTuber, and he had talked about Sword and Shield, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and he didn't like it. And he had a lot of critiques, and I admit that they're valid, like things like the pop-in is pretty bad, and how the
Yes.
the weather just suddenly changing is like, that's jarring and weird.
I love it, yeah.
But I didn't like the video, because he was super negative, and I'm very protective of Pokemon. It's like, listen, we haven't had a game like this before. Let's celebrate how they've actually improved,
Yeah,
finally.
yeah, that's fine.
But I just didn't reply. I didn't leave a comment. Did you know you can do that too?
Yeah, you don't have to leave a comment on every single fucking video.
And, you know, I didn't like his video, and I had no good reason not to. You know, I wasn't objectively right. He brought up valid complaints.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's another thing. If you don't like something, you can just leave halfway through. Like, I've been in the middle of a video that at first I was jiving with, and then, like, halfway through I'm like, nah, I'm bored and I disagree, and then I just left. Like, why? My time is so precious to me. I live my life using time as the biggest form of currency, because I only got so much of it.
It sounds so fatalistic.
But it's because, like,
But I agree.
It's because I have so much I want to do, and all of it's time consuming. Like, making videos is not like a wham bam, I did it. Like, it's time consuming. So other things.
Why does sleep have to take so long?
I
What a pain.
know. I wish I could be like Alphonse and just not have to.
I wish my superpower. I wish that I could just get sleep, but pause time when I do it.
That'd
So
be
then
cool.
I do a full night's sleep, but then I wake up and it's still just like midnight when I went to bed.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I always wanted super speed for this reason, because there's so much I want to do, but I only have so much time. But if I was just faster, but yeah, no, like, time is the biggest form of currency. So if you're gonna use your time to just hate on something without offering critique or criticism, at the very least, to just sit there and be upset about a thing that exists without doing anything about it. Why? What a waste of your time.
And take it from me, your life will be so much better when you stop. Because I have spent a lot of my time discussing something that disappointed me. It's RWBY. And after 4-5 years on YouTube, I'm tired of complaining. Sometimes I still want to, because I'm annoying that way. But I'm at a point in my life where I want to celebrate things I like a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching Indie Mouse. He makes video game content. It's great. And his videos are always so positive. Even games that are, like, bad, he's always having, like, a good time. He's cultivated a very positive community.
Nice.
And I'm like, man, I want that. I'm tired of analyzing how shitty this cartoon is. I'm tired of arguing with people who can't understand how opinions work.
Yeah.
And so I'm finding myself significantly less invested in making videos breaking down how characters have been ruined over the course of the show. And instead it's like, here's my thoughts on the soundtrack. And I'm happier. And that's what I'm saying. If you start spending more of your time just engaging with the things that you do like, rather than being so caught up in being upset about the things you don't like, you will be a lot happier.
Like, one of the most positive directions my life went, I'm just generally so much happier now, is cutting the RWBY Reddit out of my life.
Same!
All of them. All of you know what my Reddit is now? It's just Animal Crossing and crappy designs, because that makes me laugh.
Crappy designs is so funny.
I love it. I also really like That's Not My Job. R Not My Job. That's a good one.
I'll have to look at that one.
It's similar.
I'm on r/TikTok cringe all the time.
Nice. I love it. Like, cutting, because that was such a cesspool of negative opinions and people bitching and arguing constantly. All the Reddits, all the RWBY ones, you know?
Yeah, both r/RWBY and r/RWBY critics, they were all just so volatile. The only one that's not constantly trying to argue is r/RWBY not safe for work. Yeah. I'm going to assume, because I'm really not on that, because I don't want to look up inappropriate pictures of RWBY characters, honestly.
Not for me, thank you.
But like, it's I think pretty sure r/RWBY not safe for work, I think it has more like followers and shit than r/RWBY.
I think so. If not, it's close. Because I remember it surpassed, like, everyone real quick.
Fun fact, people who may not know better. The outside world, like people who aren't super in the fandom, they only care about the porn. They don't know about the story. Like, I've got an artist I follow on Twitter who they'd make not safe for work art. Okay, wow, what a surprise. Usually it's Genshin Impact. But they were like, hey, I remembered RWBY, let's do some RWBY stuff. And they used, like, the old designs. They had a tweet like, what does Blake look like anymore? And they just didn't care. In everyone else's eyes, the show stopped at volume 4. Damn. Basically. And just there, so then they can get to Kali.
True. Yeah, that is true.
So, there you go. That's a little bonus fact for anyone who didn't know. In the greater eye of the world, RWBY is only a vessel for people to draw porn. There you go.
And it's like cutting the angry, argumentative things out of my life. I'm so fucking happy. I'm so much happier nowadays, now that I don't deal with that. So even if you, like, really vitriolically hate these rewrites, cutting that out of your life, cutting that source of a hate out of your life and not engaging with it anymore, you're gonna be just so much happier. You will be happier because you're gonna be engaging with things you actually enjoy, and the people who do enjoy these rewrites are gonna be happier because they don't need to listen to you bitching all the time. So It's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah.
And I guess that's all I really had to say.
Yeah, basically just calm the fuck down.
Yeah. It's just
calm down.
It's just rewrites. It doesn't matter if you try to add addendums like, oh, I only like AUs but not rewrites. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I don't like it when the word fixing is on. It's the same thing. It
doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. It's people doing something and being creative and having fun. And if it's not your form of fun, then don't engage with it.
Yeah. You can critique it.
You can critique it, but critique and bullying are not the same thing.
Yeah. You know. So, also, amateurs make bad shit.
Yes.
Oh, boo-hoo. Oh, where. I had to read a bad fan fiction
But they'll
because
never-
I chose to do that.
But they're not gonna get better if you tear them down.
Yes.
So if you sit there and attack them and make them feel small and like shit for being, even though they are an amateur and are just doing their best they can, you're not gonna help them. They're not gonna grow that way.
No.
You can aid them in a way that where they can grow without hurting them. Without just being an obnoxious ass about it.
I know that being on the internet can feel like a private thing. Because, you know, you're looking at a screen, you're not focusing on other things. You're usually, like, on your computer in your room, you know.
It's just, and other people are just words with an icon of usually an anime person.
Yeah. But the internet is a public space. So just treat people the way you would if you were in public.
The golden rule still exists. You know?
Yeah.
Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Exactly.
It's not, and really, it shouldn't be that out of the norm idea to begin with. Just
For
being
real.
decent human empathy. You know?
Let's pretend, even if you were 9 when RWBY started, you should be around 18 now.
Yeah, almost 19.
18 to 19.
Yeah.
Grow up already.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not that hard. We can all be civil, and we'll all be having more fun in the long run if we can just stop trying to tear people down for wanting to do something different that you don't agree with. Unless it's
Exactly.
something harmful. Unless it's
yes,
something
if it really
harmful.
is harmful,
And that's-
then be like, then make a stink about it.
Don't jump
But-
on, oh, this person has Jaune as the main character. Oh, they're misogynistic. Because if there is actually something misogynistic, then you sitting there claiming they're all misogynistic, they're gonna get washed out. And
Exactly. It's
not
like
gonna
literally
help.
none of you have read Peter and the Wolf, where the boy cried wolf,
Yeah.
and then the sheep got eaten. Go read that story. It's like 3 paragraphs long.
You not liking it is not the same thing as it being problematic or harmful.
Yes. It's okay that you don't like it. But that doesn't mean everyone else also has to.
You can voice your opinions, but don't attack anyone with them. Don't be mean about them. You can disagree all you want, but don't hurt others. That's the thing. Let's just be kind.
Yeah.
We're all watching the same stupid fucking show. Why
Yeah.
can't we all just get along?
And I guess the final thing is, again, don't like it, don't read it.
If you're gonna throw that around, you have to live by it too.
Yep.
And thanks. I guess that's it. Thanks for watching this podcast. Hope you liked it. Any and all thoughts and opinions about this topic? We covered several sensitive topics here. Tell us what you think about this whole debacle. And be pleasant with each other, please.
Just try.
Yeah.
You know,
Do
no
your
one's
best.
perfect. But try.
I'll in post, like, sometime later, I'll read off my $10 patron names.
Now.
Nako, James Dodds, Cool Duck, Andrew, Ramiel, Valhalla Knight, Chamomile, G Extreme, Classy Critic, Sunny Shy, Great Bar, Pentamenta, Jake, Storm, Amber, Livid Aries, Hype Man, Luno, Zero to Hero, Keithan, Isaiah, Josh, Joseph, Scaring Crows, and Blue Wiz. They're beautiful people. Great people. Love them so much. Any and all thoughts and opinions, leave them in the comments. Check out Twiins. She's fantastic and super
Here I
smart
am.
and has such great videos. And you stream. You stream on Twitch.
I do stream. You can, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know when it's happening. Because I
Yeah.
don't have a schedule.
And it's fun when she streams. They're very fun. It's very funny.
I'm
videos.
a delight.
You sure are. So, any and all thoughts and opinions, leave them in the comments below. Be nice to each other. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
See you on the flippity flop.